Time skips. Next morning, Yu's room. Yu is packing your and Ayana's things when Mr. Lee came. Mr. Lee, are you sure you want to go to that house again? You looked up as Dad. Mr. Lee, but dear Dad, don't worry now. I am no more that scared. They will not able to do anything. Mr. Lee, but you will tell me whatever happens there. Promise me. You okay? Promise. And Dad, have you talked to that central head? You Dad, yes. That only I came to inform. I had told him about your need for job, so he accepted. And you can go from tomorrow. You, that's good. I will be busy from tomorrow only, Mr. Lee. But dear, why you want to do job at childcare center only when you can get better one? Childcare center is play school for children of 1 to 5 years. Actually, this is for those parents who do job and leave their children here. This is only imaginary. You, I know Dad, I can get better, but you know I love children and moreover, Anana can also come with me there as I don't want to leave her alone. Mr. Lee, okay, I'm always there with you. You smiles. Time skips afternoon, living room, Yu's home. A car stops outside the house and Tiang came out of it and went inside. You and Anana were ready to go. Tiang, hello uncle. Mr. Lee just nodded. Taehyung, you let's go. You was carrying Anana and was going to pick your bag when Taehyung said, Taehyung, taking your bags, I will have it. You nodded. Mr. A to Taehyung, listen, you, if you even dare to come near my daughter, I will come with police only. Taehyung, I won't give you chance for that. Mr. A, hope so. You hugged your dad. Mr. A, take care of yourself, Anana, and don't hesitate to call me at any time. You nodded and went. In car, during the whole journey, there was silence in car. Anana was sleeping, you was looking out, and Taehyung looking straight. After some time, Kim mentioned living room. Taehyung and you came inside with Anana. Mrs. Kim was in hall. She got angry seeing you with Anana. They came near her. Taehyung kept your bag near sofa and you went near Mrs. Kim. You, hello mom, bend little. Won't you bless your grandchild and daughter-in-law with a little smirk on your face? Mrs. Kim anger Rachel pick. Mrs. Kim, hey you, is this the way to talk to your mother-in-law? You, but I had learned this way only, but don't worry. I will show you many new ways. Mrs. Kim looked at Taehyung, who was busy in mobile. She got angry seeing her son's negligence. Mrs. Kim angrily, and you think that this is orphanage that you will bring anyone? You shouted, just shut up. She is my daughter and don't force me to open my mouth. Otherwise, you also very well know you are this dear son. Point to Taehyung, can't be father. So you should be happy that I giving you pleasure of being grandmother. Mrs. Kim got mini heart attack seeing her mute daughter-in-law shouted at her. Taehyung was also shocked. You was about to leave when Mrs. Kim said, Mrs. Kim, so you're taunting me and my son? You turns. Huh? No, I am saying directly. Saying this, you went to guest room and put Anana on bed and surrounded her with pillows. You came back to hall while Taehyung and Mrs. Kim were confused that why you were went to guest room. You packed your bag and was about to go when Taehyung said, Taehyung, why you went to guest room? You, because I and Anana live there only. Mrs. Kim loudly, why don't you know you should be with your husband? You moved towards Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim got little afraid that you know what you are going to do. You point your finger at her. Don't raise your voice, and I am not interested in living with my so-called husband. Understand? Said slowly but dangerously. Mrs. Kim nodded, being scared. You took your bag and went to guest room, leaving behind fuming Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim was about to say something to Taehyung, but he went to his room. Mrs. Kim meditated. Oh God, what is happening in this house? Time skips at night. Taehyung's and Yu's room. Taehyung is sitting on bed, lost in thoughts when Mrs. Kim entered inside, bringing him reality. Mrs. Kim, may I know, Taehyung, why are you ignoring me? Taehyung, normally I am not. Mrs. Kim, I don't understand what is going in your mind. How can you become puppet of that girl just within few days? Taehyung angrily, Mom, I am not her puppet. Mrs. Kim, then why are you changed? Taehyung, who said I am changed? Mrs. Kim, I had observed you are listening to her just because she should not give you divorce. Taehyung, yes, because I have a reputation, and if I and you will get divorced, then it will be dark spot on my respect, as everyone will get to know about my weakness, and about all you are mistaken that anybody will marry me, because no one will be interested in marrying a man who can't be father. It is only you who can be my wife. So it is better if you adjust with her. Mrs. Kim, have you seen her attitude? How we are going to beat her all this? Taehyung chuckled. Her attitude, don't worry, she is just angry and her this attitude will vanish in few days. Just wait and watch. She will be back to normal. Mrs. Kim, and what about that child? Taehyung, oh God, why are you tensed when I am there? I will think about her also, so just relax and sleep. Mrs. Kim go out and Taehyung started drinking and smoking. On the other hand, you had already slept with Anana peacefully. Skips next morning guest room. You got up and get ready. You get ready. You wore simple suit instead of normal dress. When you was setting your hair, Anana wake up. You looked at Anana and went near her. You picking up her. Oh, my baby got up. Anana smiled at you. Then you make Anana ready and put her in cradle and went to prepare breakfast. Living room. Mrs. Kim saw you and got shocked seeing your dress. Mrs. Kim, you are married, then what are you wearing? You, casually, I am comfortable in this. Saying this, you went to kitchen. Mrs. Kim thought at least you will make breakfast and sat on sofa and started reading newspaper. You came out from kitchen with milk bottle for Anana and feed her, then again went to kitchen. Mrs. Kim was resting thinking that you are making breakfast. Time skips 5 minutes later. Taehyung came down ready for office. Taehyung, mom breakfast. Mrs. Kim, just wait. You, she called you. You came out and said, you, what you want. Mrs. Kim, bring breakfast for me and Taehyung. You, but I didn't prepare for you. Mrs. Kim, then you, I had made for myself and already ate. I didn't make extra, otherwise it will be wasted. Innocently, you left to guest room. Mrs. Kim, see Taehyung, it is okay. You only prepare. Mrs. Kim, crying face. Now I have to prepare breakfast. She unwillingly went to kitchen and Taehyung sat on sofa. When he saw you coming from room with Anana and a handbag, he got confused. Taehyung, where are you going? You. I already told I will do job, so there only. Taehyung, but why you are taking Anana with you? You. Do you think I will leave her with your mom? Taehyung, where are you going to work? You. It plays good normally. Taehyung, are you mad? You are wife of richest builder and do such a low class job. You got angry designing him. You shout, shut up. It is my choice which job I have to do, and I don't have cheap mentality like you. Saying this, you left while Taehyung stared you angrily. Time skips evening, living room. You came back from your work and had made Anana sleep. You were going to kitchen to prepare dinner for yourself when Mrs. Kim called you. Mrs. Kim, you looked at her and saw that she is ready to go somewhere with a bag in her hand. You turned back but didn't speak anything. Mrs. Kim, I am going to my sister's house for 2 days, so kindly tell this to Taehyung. Making faces, saying this, she left. You also went to the kitchen and prepared dinner. Guest room. After that, you went to the guest room and saw Anana awake and looking here and there. You went near her and picked her from cradle. You, my baby doll, woke up. Anana held your hair. You, oh God, I think you love my long hair a lot. When you will be big girl, then you will also have long hair. You started changing her clothes and talking to her. You, now my baby must be hungry, right? Anana smiles. You, okay, then mom will be boiled tasty milk for you. You went and kept the cradle in hall. Living room. And then put Ananya in it so that you can directly see her from kitchen. You went to kitchen and Ananya was playing with the toy attached at the top of cradle. But after some time Ananya started crying as she must be hungry. You from kitchen, Ananya baby, just wait, I am coming. But still Ananya was crying, you can't leave and go because your milk will boil. At that time only Taehyung entered inside the hall and saw Ananya crying. He went near her. Ananya looked at him and extended her hand as if asking him to pick her up. Then only he listened to your voice. You shouts, please Anana, don't cry. I am coming in 2 minutes. Anana looked at Taehyung and was crying. Taehyung was not able to see her like this, so he picked her up in his arms. Anana stopped crying and started playing with Taehyung's shed buttons. Taehyung was having different feeling because it is the first time he is carrying baby in his arm. He was staring Anana the way she is playing. Later you came with milk bottle and was shocked to see Taehyung holding Anana. Taehyung looked at you. You went near them. Taehyung forward Anana towards you. You silently take her and feed her milk. Taehyung was about to leave to his room when you said your mom had gone to her sister's house for 2 days. Taehyung didn't turn. He left to his room. Taehyung was feeling unknown happiness after picking Anana. Time skips at night 11 p.m. You, after having your dinner, went to guest room and slept with Anana. Another side, Taehyung signed Yu's room. Taehyung closed his laptop after finishing his office work. Then he felt hungry and realized that he had not done his dinner in kitchen. So he went to kitchen but didn't find anything. Taehyung mumbled, you didn't make dinner. Then he remembered an incident when he came at late night after party and you was still waiting for him in the hall and offered him dinner, but he humiliated you and didn't have it. But today's situation is different. You is near him, but still he feels as if you doesn't exist. It is said that we often realize the importance of someone when that person goes away. Taehyung took deep breath and whispered, I should ask you whether something she had made or not. He went to guest room. At guest room. It has been few minutes since Taehyung is standing outside the door, hesitated to knock it as there was pitch dark inside the room. Taehyung, I think she slept, but I am starving here. Finally he knocked on the door twice.